listeners, Perla here. As always, thank you for your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. We would love to have you. So let's jump right on in. Aries, Aries this week is, and I know you don't want to deal with it, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. This week, you're dealing with somebody from your past. Somebody from your past wants your attention, wants to have a conversation, and wants to make amends in some type of way with you. I see you, and I'm not going to lie, I see you being very dismissive, excuse me, towards this person. I see you not wanting to engage, but I do see this person being very persistent. Now, when we talk about people from our past, it doesn't always have to be somebody romantic. This can be somebody that you had a falling out with, like a friend, a family member, etc. But this person very much wants to, and this is where I really don't like this energy. This person wants to apologize, but their apology is coming in from a place of, I need to apologize because I need them to hear my side of the story. They felt like they didn't have a chance to say their side of a story or their side of something. So therefore, until they don't get their side out, until they don't say what their side of the story is, they're not going to be at peace, is what I'm picking up. So yes, this apology is sincere as it can be coming from this person, but it is coming as a way of being able to say their side of the story on something. So just kind of be aware of that. I feel that a lot of you already know, and I think that's why a lot of you are not even wanting to listen to this person, even though this person is very persistent, or they're being very persistent. I feel that a lot of you are in this space where you're just like, you know what, I forgave you, but I don't want you in my life, so I don't really need to hear your apology. That's kind of like where you're coming at with this energy. Like, you have chosen, prior to this person asking for an apology or coming with an apology, excuse me, is what I should say, you have chosen to forgive them, but you've also chosen that you do not want this person or these people in your life. They don't need to be a part of your life. That's the way that you're looking at it. And I really, to be honest with you, that's what it has to be sometimes. Like, just because you forgive somebody, it does not grant them access back into your life. The forgiveness is for you, not for them. And that's where a lot of people get it mixed up, that people, well, if you truly forgave, you would have allowed me back, you would take me back, or I could be back, or we could be friends, or we could be the no, my love. I forgave the transaction. I think I even forgave you as being part of that the transaction and everything, but I don't need to have you in my life. I don't need to, because again, sometimes we get into these patterns where when we continuously allow people that have hurt us back into our lives, what we're doing is teaching them that we allow those behaviors. And every time that they come back around, again, whether these are romantic or platonic people that we have in our lives, they continue on with the same behavior because it is something that you have allowed yourself to tolerate. All right, so let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card for the closing message. We have the Traveler, move in a new direction. That's exactly what you're doing. You're choosing that moving forward, you're not going to hold on to resentment. You're not going to hold on to anger. You're going to openly, excuse me, forgive, right? You're going to forgive, but you're not going to allow these people back into your life. You're not going to give people more than one chance. That if you meet a person, again, regardless of whatever the situation is, you're not, and you have to understand something. Just because you are setting boundaries with yourself, it does not mean that you are expecting everybody that comes into your life to be bad or to come to harm you or anything like that. It's not that you're expecting the worst, but you're setting boundaries. And moving forward, when somebody crosses a line, when somebody hurts you intentionally, when somebody does something to intentionally hurt you in whatever way it is, you are going to forgive the transaction, but you're not going to allow the person back into your life. And that is a boundary that you have set for yourself, and it's a boundary that I love seeing people set for themselves. Taurus, this week is going to seem like you're going against, like you're hitting a wall, you're hitting a wall. This is definitely not something that is just you. Let's put it this way. You're hitting a wall when it comes to communication with somebody else, whether this is at work or in your personal life. It's almost kind of like you're rephrasing the same sentence in like 10 different ways, and someone is still not getting it. Like, they're not comprehending what it is that you're saying. So I'm going to use a quick example. I was diagnosed with narcolepsy with cataplexy years ago. And I have tried to explain to certain people, like my parents, right, what it is. And they kind of understand the fact that I sleep a lot. Especially one of my parents cannot comprehend like the all the other things that are within it, right? So she's always sending me, it's my mom, she's always sending me like all of these things that she finds about like better sleep quality and all of these things that she thinks that if I do, miraculously my narcolepsy is gonna be gone, right? And it's kind of like that energy where you need to not fight it, or you need to not try to force someone to really comprehend or understand something. It's like once you have shared something or once you have said something, if the person cannot comprehend or if the person cannot understand it, then you have to move forward, or you have to move like away from the situation. So like if this is at work and you're trying to like explain something to your boss as to like why something cannot be done or whatever it is, like a supervisor or whatever, if they're not comprehending it what it is and they are above you, then you're going to have to go above them. You're going to have to go to whoever is in charge of them to explain to them why you are refusing to do something, or why something can't be done in the way that is being asked, right? um if it's in a relationship, then you're going to have to take a closer look at this relationship and see if it's something that you still want to be in, or if it is time to move away from this connection. Like if you have had the same repetitive conversation with the same person, right? And it is about a situation that needs to be resolved, right? So we're talking about like either behaviors that they have or whatever it is within a relationship, and nothing is being addressed, then you're going to have to make a choice whether you want to continue on with the same cycle, or if you want to move away from the situation. So let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card. So, hardly shuffled, but we have the Knight. Be brave and honest. So situations like this, when we have to make decisions that make us feel a little uncomfortable. For some people, I'm very much about like just going head forward with everything. And no, I'm not a Taurus. I'm a Capricorn though. But yeah, you're gonna have to be brave in the sense that you're gonna have to make the right decision for you at this moment in time, and you're gonna have to be completely honest with yourself and completely honest with the other parties involved. Again, whether this is at work or in your personal life, that something is just not working. Like there's no sense of on you continuously repeating yourself with someone that is either not able to comprehend or is choosing not to listen, right? They can hear, but they're choosing not to listen to what it is that you're saying, and you can't continue on within that space. Taurus. Geminis. Gemini baby. um shh, you need to this week, baby. um Something has worked in your favor, or you're finding out that something is working in your favor this week, and you're being asked to celebrate it by yourself, celebrate it with those closest to you, like your immediate family, your significant other, your children, your dogs, your cat. I don't care. You have a turtle, celebrate it with your turtle. um but do not make this publicly known, and not yet anyways. And I think we touched about this, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of weeks ago, when we were talking about you needing to a lot of the times you are sharing things prematurely, and whenever you decide to share certain things prematurely, things seem to um not work out. They seem to kind of like shatter or break apart, fall apart, right? So whatever this is for you, whether it is a new job, whether it is, you're coming into money, or whatever it is, do not share this. I'm being honest, like you shouldn't be sharing this with anybody. You should be celebrating it, and sitting in that space of gratefulness for it, and asking for clarity in the sense of like, okay, what is your next step, is the question. That is what you should be doing. So you should be going in deeper within yourself, and going to spirit and asking, okay, so what is next? Like, what is the next step from this? Instead of, and I don't want to say so much like gloating, but that's kind of like the energy, what it looks like. Some of you want to show, either people or like a specific person from your past, that everything is going well for you, or like that you overcame something. And that's not what we're here for. The purpose is not to throw our success in other people's life. It is that the it is to be honest with you, it is the life that you choose, how you choose to live your life is what is meant to be the guidance for other people. Does that make sense? Like, if you're still stuck in this phase where I want to show like what I have, or what I achieve, or whatever, from a place of like I want to prove certain people wrong or anything like that, then you really have to check where that energy is coming from, because it is not really something that it is not an energy, to be honest with you, that you should be in. It is an energy that you should have already outgrown by this time in your process. So let your success speak for itself without you having to say that you're successful in something. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card for Gemini. Be grateful in movement and action. This is about really coming into alignment with what it is that spirit wants for your life, and really moving within that space, and not, and again, this is where it kind of gets tricky, because like when it comes to the ego, I really think that there are times where ego definitely needs to come out and play there. It has a purpose. I don't see it as something like, oh, you should never to let the ego take charge or anything like that. But this is not one of those situations where your ego needs to come and play. Like your ego need, and when I'm talking about the ego, I'm talking about this aspect of like you wanting to show somebody what you have accomplished. And what the reason why I'm saying it is not the time for that at this moment in time is because you're still in the beginning stages of something that you're creating. You're still in the beginning stages of something that you're building. So allow your ego to sit for a little longer, and it can come out to play once something has finalized, once something has matured. Okay. Okay, babe. Cancer. Cancer. You are uh, you're ready. You're ready is what I'm picking up. There's this energy of like, whether you're ready to you're ready to I don't know, for some of you this is like a vacation. You're ready to go on vacation. You're already on vacation mode. For others of you, this is like you're ready for the next chapter. You're ready to see what this new chapter in your life is going to bring. And you are excited of the possibilities that are available to you. And I'm really trying to like I kind of almost feels like you guys are like on this cloud nine type of energy. I'm trying to pull you guys down. Like, okay, can you give me a little bit more, because you guys are being very like, like I don't know, like that's kind of like what it feels like. Um, I guess I would say is like how you're supposed to feel like when you're high. And I say I guess because personally, the times that I have tried to like smoke, it doesn't give me the same effect that it gives other people. I just go to sleep and I go like into dream loop. So I've never experienced that high from smoking. But that is almost kind of like pulling me into like, let's say that sensation, that high that I get when I meditate, right? So that's kind of like the space that I'm picking that you guys are in this week, is like that high that people usually get from smoking, but we're going to use the meditation aspect of it. So like when I go into meditation, and I start controlling my breathing and I do specific breath work, I go and I get this high off of it. And it is a beautiful, it is amazing space to be in, but it's also, again, with everything else, it has to be this balance, right? This has to be this balance where I have to come back into this present moment, and into this reality. And it's almost like some of you do not want to come back. You don't want to come back to reality. um oh, you don't want to come back. You don't want to come back. You want to stay in this space of feeling high, or the space of, like if you are on vacation and stuff like that, you're not wanting to come back, or you don't want to think about coming back to work, coming back to the real life, in that aspect, when we talk about it in that way. And I or maybe this is just a, for some of you, this is not physically you going somewhere. This is a perspective, a shift that is happening mentally, that you're starting to see life in a different way, or you're starting to experience life in a different way, and you're not wanting to go back to the old ways. And I really do love that energy. Because again, who am I to tell you to go back to something that that was no good for you? So we have the white witch, be the light. So yeah, for those of you that this is like a mental shift or a perspective change, this is a space that a lot of you again really want to stay in. You do not want to go back to the old way of thinking. You don't want to go back into that space of doubts or anything like that. So you're doing whatever you can to stay within this space of the light, right? You're trying to be, or you're trying to, yeah, it's almost kind of like you're trying to be the light that you're feeling, or the light, or that peacefulness, that grace that you're feeling from spirit, is what you're trying to be in this 3D reality, is what you're trying to be, like in your day-to-day type of life. And again, I do like this energy. Just again, with everything, remember the balance is needed. And I'm saying that because in order for there to be light, there has to be darkness. So do not ignore the darkness completely, is what I want to say to that. Leos, oh my God, finally, because I feel like I'm not even gonna lie, the last few weeks have been rough for you, Leos. I feel that you're finally finding your footing, you're finally feeling like things are going your way, you're finally feeling like your mind is in the right place, and you some of you Leos are definitely going into some shadow work, and maybe in the past, whenever you did shadow work, you used to dread it or you really didn't like doing them. But I feel like this time around, you're going into the shadow work with a different perspective. There were things in the last couple of weeks, I want to say like the last 3 or 4 weeks, that really shone a light to certain things that you thought you had healed or that you have worked through that you really hadn't. And you're no longer avoiding it, and you're no longer like lying to yourself. You are instead choosing to go into these places and address these energy, address the space that lives within you, because you want to be able to fully integrate it into who it is that you are evolving into, right? Because it is not necessarily about like you knowing who you are, because you know who you are. And I'm seeing a beetle. um Give me a second, let me grab my phone. um I'm seeing a, and I don't know if that movie has any significant for you guys, but you know the movie the Mummy. I want to say it was one of the Mummies movies. I don't know which one, where they have like these black beetles. And that's what I'm seeing very clearly. Let's see, what is their spiritual meaning, real quick. So, black beetles symbolize profound transformation, resilience, protection, and quiet power to create meaning from the mundane. It is the symbolism of rebirth, renewal, representing hidden strength, perseverance, and so death and new growth. So it definitely makes sense that that's going to show up for you guys, the black beetle. But again, I'm seeing the movie of the Mummy for some reason, and like where there was a scene, I don't remember what it was, that there was like a bunch of like black beetles everywhere. Anyways, this is very much this energy of like you guys choosing to go into the space because you know that you already know what needs to be addressed, and you want to address it so that you can shed whatever it is that is no longer serving you. All right, so let's go ahead. We have the seer, see beyond the current situation. So for those of you that are still a little hesitant about doing the shadow work, or are you're focusing more of how difficult it's going to be or how painful it's going to be, I need you to see beyond that. I need you to see the end result once you address that. Once you address what's causing you pain, once you address what's causing you fear or anger, etc. Once that energy is addressed, once that is integrated into your being, then how it is that you come out of that and who it is that you come out, what version of yourself is born from doing that work. Virgos. Virgo, you started this week with just like you're on a roll this week. You are working on multiple projects or you're doing multiple things. And as I'm saying that, and I'm sitting on my ball, which you probably could hear the noise on my stability ball, I'm trying to stretch my lower back because as soon as I got into your energy, my lower back tightened. So let's remember the lessons of when we don't rest. So with you, Virgo, there is this energy of not wanting to take breaks. Because you keep saying like breaks are for weak people, for losers. I don't know, there's this energy of that space. But I really need you to take smaller breaks throughout the day, and hydrate, eat, please eat. Virgos, I feel that sometimes you get so busy with projects, with work, with life in general, that you guys are even forgetting to eat. And what I mean by that, I'm not telling you to stuff yourself like every 2 minutes or anything like that, but your body does need food for fuel, is what I'm trying to tell you. And I really need you to be okay with taking breaks. I need you to be okay with taking one day off the week where you're doing things that you enjoy. Because it very much feels like even on your days off, you're still working on projects and things that have to do with your job. And I see the hustle and everything like that. But there are also like, if you have been wanting to figure out like what your purpose is, or you've been wanting to start a business or start a side hustle, you're not going to do it if on your time off you're still working on work. You get what I'm saying? So when you're out of work, once you clock out, you clock out, and then once you're home, you work on the things that you want to work in. So that distinguish like that that separation needs to happen, because again, I feel that a lot of you are doing you're going above and beyond. And again, I love the energy of going above and beyond, but then you're not leaving yourself with anything when it comes to working on your own projects, when it comes to working on the things that you want to create, right? And and this is where that balance needs to happen, and you're going to have to decide if you continue to say no to your own creation, to your own like ideas, your own things, and continue to say yes to work. And when I say work, it's like you're working for someone, like you work for a corporation, you work for a person or whatever. And maybe start balancing out and start saying no more to work and saying yes more to yourself, saying yes more to the things that you want to do. Because some of you are to the point where you're burning out really fast, and you're not getting like the quality of sleep or even enough sleep as it is. So we have the autumn, release the old, and what? Rest. Rest. You need to rest. So you need to walk away from this old pattern of overdoing it and overburning yourself. I get it that you want to be the best, you want to be number one and all of this stuff, and you can still be number one, you can still be the best by taking care of yourself. I really need you to take care of yourself this time. And I really need you not to go back into old behaviors or old patterns that cause you to burn out. And if you're finding yourself during this week starting that up again, I really need you to address it and make the changes right away. Libras. Libras, you guys are things are moving. Things are moving. I don't know what else to say. Things are changing. There's a change in pace with your life this week, where you're pausing more to smell the roses. You're pausing more to live in the moment. You may have I want to say the last 2 weeks or so, you may have been more into the space of living in the present, living in the future, right? Worry. And when I say that, living in the future is all about worrying about how you're going to do this next week, how you're going to pay this next week, how you're going to do that next week, all of these worries, right? And this week you're pulling yourself back and living in the present moment. You're pulling yourself back and being present in the now. And I really really do love that energy for you guys. It's a very grounding energy. And it is something that you are actively like having to work on, and this is where I say, I give you the applause. Because again, this energy of staying grounded in the now and learning to experience life as it's happening, and not worrying so much about the tomorrow, not worrying so much about next week or etc., is something that again does not come naturally to you. So it's something that you have to consciously work on, and you're doing that work, and you're showing up every day, and you're being in the present moment. And when you begin to do that, you start to see that things just start to flow, because there's no resistance there, right? You're not in this energy of worry anymore. You're not in this energy of like overthinking, over analyzing, and you're just flowing. Everything is just flowing. It's like this blissful energy, and I really do love that energy for you guys, Libras. So what do we have? We're not taking all of those cards now. Don't get greedy with me, Libra. One card for Libra, Spirit. One card for Libra. We have the water guardian, connect with your emotions. So again, as you're in the space of living in the present moment and really embracing the now, you're feeling more connected to your emotions and how it is that they affect, or what kind of effect they have on the choices that you make, and how they affect you, especially like mentally, like psychologically. um and again, you guys are going through, you guys are in the midst right now, for those Libras that are tuning in a huge step of your spiritual evolution, of this awakening space for you guys. And what I like about the way that you guys are handling this energy or this space is that you're going into these spaces with curiosity, and you're going into these spaces with a a faith, is what I want to say. Some of you are knowing, but for a lot of you is a faith that that there's something like, and I keep on saying like it's something bigger out there for you. There's something bigger out there for you, that you are just, you and it is coming in as an eager energy, like you're eager and excited to connect to. So this is why your curiosity is playing such a big part in it, in like in this process of this this awakening to another level, or to a deeper level of what is truly behind the veil, if that makes sense. Scorpios, where are you guys, baby? Boop, 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 boop. All right, Scorpios. um you're you're debating whether to, oh, what is this? um some of you Scorpios are wanting to, oh, okay. um because there's a couple of different messages coming in, so let's focus on collectively what's the most important message, please. um some of you are wanting to, you're reminiscing about something from someone from your past, excuse me, and you're wanting to reconnect with someone from your past at a certain, to a certain level or a certain extent. I'm not saying necessarily that you want to get back with somebody, but you want to be around someone's presence or someone's energy. And I wouldn't advise it, is what I'm saying. um because the energies in this space seem to be, ooh, okay, hold on guys, because like there's like pain shooting straight up my back right now. There seems to be the, and it's on my left side. um there seemed to be the space where the other person doesn't want to receive what it is that you have to offer. Now, and I hear, and when I'm saying that, I don't care what happened between the two of you. I don't care who did what, to whom, whatever, whatever. But there's somebody that you're wanting to approach, or you're wanting to connect with, or something like that, and this this person doesn't want to receive what it is that you have to offer, whether it's an apology, whether it is a time, a gift, or something of that matter. And the thing is that you guys are coming from a very vulnerable space. This is not something that you guys tend to do very often. Hmm. All right, Scorpios. Um, for some of you, this, whatever the situation is with this person from the past, and again, it doesn't have to be like a romantic situation, this can be completely platonic, but there was something that was revealed to you in regards to a connection with somebody from your past, and you're wanting to make amends with somebody, not necessarily to re-engage with them like on a daily basis or something of that matter, but there's something about making amends with somebody from your past that seems to be very important to you during this time. But there's also this kind of energy of like, for those of you that this does have to do with romance, you may be in a connection or a situationship relationship right now, where maybe somebody, whoever it is that you're with right now, wants you to have no contact with somebody from your past. And again, the energy feels very like it can get very messy very fast. Let's put it this way. So like if you have an ex, like with kids or share dogs or share property or whatever, and you have to be in communication with this ex, like your current person doesn't want you to be in communication with them, and it's like there is a rift here. I don't know, because whoever this ex is, if it is an ex again, for those of you that this has to do with an ex, there is this space of like they don't want the drama, or they don't want the drama that comes with you and whoever it is that you're with you, but you still want to like have communication with this person, but this person doesn't want to have communication with you, or your person doesn't want you to have communication with them. It very much feels like there's too many different people's opinion and you're not listening to your own, if that makes any sense. um it's weird the way that it like for a lot of you Scorpios, I'm just going to be honest, whoever it is that you're dating, and I feel like this has come up before. I may have to go and look at my other readings, because again, I don't once I'm done, and I'd say like I don't watch the videos and I don't know what I said. But there is this sense of you're with somebody right now that is either pretending to be somebody they're not, or somebody that is really wearing a false mask, and their mask is about to fall if it hasn't fallen yet. And one of their issues may be communication that you have with people from your past, whether they're exes or friends or whatever. This person really wants to control or dictate what it is that you do or how it is that you do something. So be aware of that space. Um, and maybe this is why some of you are longing to connect with somebody from your past, because maybe this person from the past, they weren't controlling, they weren't trying to dictate what it is that you did with your life, and you're missing that energy. It doesn't necessarily mean that you want to be with them. It's like there is an energetic field or space that you're missing from someone from your past. The heart guardian, love and let yourself be loved. um, a lot of the a lot of the growth that is going to happen within the next couple of weeks for you guys is in regards to love and allowing yourself to be loved, not to be lust over, not to be addicted, not to be in codependent energy or relationships, but actual like true unconditional love. Now love is unconditional, relationships are not. Okay, love is unconditional, relationships are not. And for those of you that it clicks, it clicks. If it doesn't, it doesn't at this moment, and that's fine. But there is a sense where you're learning, or you're being asked during this week to learn to really love yourself and to disconnect from anyone or anything that does not show or come with that unconditional love. For a lot of you Scorpios, you have been stuck in loops of believing that lust and attraction and codependency relationship is love, and there's something that is going to shift this week for you, that is going to be like, wait, this hasn't been love. This is not what love is supposed to look like. Sagittarius. Sagittarius, the infinity sign, I'm gonna point to it, right, is coming up for you guys. Um, there is this sense of being recharged, being renewed in a way that you have never experienced before. Now, whatever it is that you guys are doing, whether you guys are taking up like more meditations, whether you guys are fasting, again, for those of you that this is going to resonate, this is somebody that is practicing a very, I don't want to say strict, you're very disciplined within your spiritual practices. Whether that is that you're fasting every certain amount of time, or you fast for a certain amount of hours, like water fasting, whether it is that you're choosing to eat like a plant-based a diet for a specific amount of time, whether it is that you meditate for a certain amount of time every, again, there's very much discipline when it comes to your spiritual practices. And you are there's something in this space that you are learning about when it comes to recharging yourself, energetically, not just physically but also spiritually. And it is something that you're being, excuse me, you're being asked to pay attention and document what it is that you're learning in the space, so that then you can bring it out or bring it to the collective. Does that make sense? So you are very much in a, for those of you that, again, we're talking about the spiritual aspect and these spiritual practices, you're in a it's almost kind of like you're in school and you're learning, so you're being taught all of this by spirit at this moment in time, so that then you can bring it out to the collective. So there is this need for you to document, to write down, to take notes of your experiences and the instructions that are being given to you, directly from spirit, whatever it is that you're channeling. um, and don't worry so much about like when is it that you have to release this or something like that. This week you're just being asked to remember to like take notes, remember to document, remember to, because once this learning phase within a space is done, then you're going to be presenting whatever this is to the collective. All right. I give me oracle cards, the closing message. We have the mirror guardian. Take time to reflect. Right, so you're gonna have to take time to reflect on what is happening, like while you're meditating or while you're fasting, whatever it is that you're channeling or whatever. Like take time to reflect on everything that you're channeling, everything that's coming through, because again, this information is not just for you. And I'm sorry that if you think this is a burden, you should look at it as a privilege, right? You're learning something so that then you can teach it to the rest of us, so that then you can teach it to the collective, because there's a group of people that are needing what it is that you're learning at this moment in time. Capricorns, this week, I don't know. There are things that are coming in this week that you don't even, you're almost kind of like not even aware of it, or you're not even aware that it's happening or it's coming. Um, it very much gives this energy of like somebody that it's almost kind of like Capricorn. You're not, you are aware that you have some type of impact in some type of environment, right? Like you're aware you have an impact, like at work, in your home life, in a relationship or whatever. But this week you're going to find out exactly how much of an impact you have. Like it's almost kind of like your word has authority, your presence has authority when you show up to places. And again, because you're so focused on your hustle, and I mean like, whether this is work or your projects, your business or whatever, you're so focused on the execution of something. You don't really take the time to sit in the space of celebrating like the accomplishments, or celebrating what you have created, celebrating what it is that you bring to the table. So this week, in some big elaborate way, it's almost kind of like being shoved down your throat, being shoved down your face, like, hey, here is and again, I know that it sounds like harsh the way that I'm saying it, but it's like you're getting a reward, but it's like it's almost kind of like slapping you in the face, like, hey, can we sit down for like 5 minutes and freaking enjoy this, type of thing. So whether it is that you have, for some of you, this is a podcast or something that is taking off, there is an energy of like, again, it's almost kind of like when we talk about like people that go viral like on social media, like overnight or something of that matter, or like business taking off, money coming in like unexpectedly, like it's almost kind of like that energy that is happening. But it is really sitting you down so that you're able to celebrate the accomplishment, but also celebrate yourself, because a veces ustedes se pasan, with how humble you want to be in certain situation. Because again, a lot of you Capricorns like to take, the back seat in certain things, and there's a space here of like, hey, you need to be front and center, you need to show your face, you need to show up, you need to, you need to be seen, you need to be seen, you need to be seen, and you need to be celebrated. And it's okay for people to celebrate what it is that you're bringing to the table, whether this is at work again or at home. It is okay, because that celebration that they're doing on your behalf, or that part of you that they are celebrating, they're also celebrating within themselves. Because we celebrate, or we like the things that we agree with, or the things that we disagree with when it comes to other people, are all reflections of ourselves. And that's one of the things that I feel that a lot of you Capricorns are starting to understand, or are starting um to realize that it is okay for you to be celebrated within a certain space, and it is okay for you to celebrate yourself the same way that you celebrate others. So we have the wise one, grow within your current situation. Now, why is it that you're being asked to grow within a space where you are receiving, where abundance is coming in? Because this is a very uncomfortable situation for you. Capricorns, for those of you that this is going to resonate, you have spent a very long time, years upon years, trying to build, trying to being constantly like on the hustle and having small breaks, right? That keep you going, having small breaks that keep the momentum going. But you have never had a breakthrough like the one that you're having this week. And this is the reason why you're being asked to grow within the space, because when this breakthrough comes through for you, you need to make sure that you do not allow doubts to come in. You cannot allow an old dialogue to come through and try to rob you from this. Okay. Aquarius. Aquarius, there's mm, somebody's throwing the hook and you're catching it. Be aware this week not to get pulled into other people's drama, because again, somebody's launching like a hook and you're catching it, and you're going to be dragged into someone else's drama, and you're being asked not to. If somebody, and again, for those of course is this is going to resonate, somebody may be posting certain things on social media that are triggering or are indirectly towards you, even though they're not saying your name directly. Do not fall for it. Do not fall for it. At some point we have to realize that there are certain behaviors that do not need our attention. There's certain behaviors that we don't need to engage with. Now, if somebody's calling you by name, then that's a different story. But if they want to throw their indirect, let that shit just slide on over. Like, do not fall into the space of like going back and forth with this person. There's nothing in this space that is going to be productive. There's nothing in the space that is going to bring any healing or anything else other than drama. And and the issue with that is that, misery loves company. This person is miserable, whatever it is that this person feels that you have done towards them, or however this person feels that you have somehow taken something or someone or whatever away from them, is it's like, baby, come on. Let's go, let's get off social media, and let's do some healing work. Let's focus on ourselves. And for a lot of you Aquariuses, I feel that that's what you've been trying to do. You've been trying to focus more on healing. You've been trying to focus more on growing and evolving as a person. But somebody again is keeps on with their indirect towards you. And I get it that it can be frustrating and stuff like that, but just block them. There's no, because to a certain degree you're also watching, so in order for you to see it, you have to be looking at their page. So make a boundary with yourself. Like, if you know that somebody's posting certain things and it's indirectly, so they're not naming you or etc., you know what, speak to your spirit guides, speak to your spiritual family, ask them to take care of it, and you do your part. Your part is by not going on their page. Your part is like when somebody's telling you, oh, so and so posted this, I think it was with regards to you, you'd be like, you know what, if it was, let them be. That's what they need. If they need me to be the villain in their story, it's perfectly fine. But start taking care of you energetically, start taking care of you emotionally during this time, babe. All right, so let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card. So we have the water guardian. Connect with your emotions. um Connect with your emotions so that you're not reacting or overreacting to situations. Allow yourself to stay grounded within yourself, and allow yourself to honor, like, yeah, something may be making you feel uncomfortable, or you may be feeling like, somebody should really put this person in their place, and this and this and that. Again, some of these energies are nothing more than energies that want attention, and they continue to feed off of that energy, like of the energy that you give them. So instead of you continuously giving to that energy, your spiritual team is there for that. Like, be like, hey, go take care of that for me, and you go ahead and you do your part so that you don't continue to connect with this energy. Pisces. Pisces, someone from your past is trying to, why are they someone from your past is trying to intimidate you in some way, shape or form. uh someone someone from your past is someone from your past is trying to, that's what it looks like. They're trying to intimidate you with information that they feel they have on you. Now, what is funny about this is that this information is outdated. And what I mean by that is that this is in regards to, whether it was a behavior or an addiction or something that you had in the past that that is no longer a reality that you live in. And I'm taking a moment because it almost amazes me that people fail to understand that as life goes on, we evolve. Well, those of us that choose to do the work and those of us that choose to not stay in the same situation, right? And it is usually people that are unwilling to see their own reflection, to look at their own reflection, to do the work that is required to free themselves, that want to continuously bring the past into the present. Whether this is a behavior or like an embarrassing moment or an addiction that you had or whatever it was, right? And it's like because they are still stuck in the same behavior, the same pattern, the same whatever, they can't comprehend or they can't believe that you outgrew something or that you overcame something. And because they haven't been able to do it themselves, they want to try to drag you down with them. And it's like you Pisces are, I don't see you really going back and forth with this person or anything like that. I just want you to have this perspective or to look at the situation for what it really is. This person is coming at you because they are unhealed, because they are unwilling to look at their own reflection. And there's nothing that you have to do in regards to the situation because this person is basically telling on themselves by the behavior that they are exhibiting during this time. We have the star ancestor, follow the voice of your soul. You continue on doing what it is that you're doing. You continue on evolving. You continue on overcoming all of these past patterns, these past behaviors, or, addictions, these past challenges that you've had. You continue to evolve. You continue to follow the voice of your soul. And let this person that is trying to intimidate you or is trying to come at you, let them sit in their misery. Let them sit in their pain. And hopefully, hopefully in the future, hopefully one day, they'll wake up and they'll choose to do the work for themselves. That is all that I have. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing, guys. Take care. Love you all.